Scripsa est. What type of verb is this? What do we talk, what form of the verb is this? It's a perfect passive. Scripsa is coming from the Latin verb what though? Scripsa, to write. Yes, scribeo, to write. So it'd be scribeo, scribe, scribere, scripti, scripsum, I think? I can't remember for sure. Sometimes I have to go back to find all the principal parts. I don't remember them all. Est, liber. What's my subject? What is liber?
The book.
The book. How would I translate written, but make it carry that passive, perfect quality? As written, absolutely. You can either say that, or if you were to be, doing the whole conjugation, you could say have been written. But in this case, was written sounds better. The book was written. And I like how this is not dead. It is writing really well right now. Cuius nomen. Cuius means who, but it is the genitival form of who, or it can also refer to as which. And I think it might be better to refer to it as which, because a book is more of a which rather than a who, right? It's more of an inanimate object. But if it's genitive, how am I going to genitive this word? I just turned that into a verb. How am I going to make who or which into carrying kind of a genitive-like quality? Right? Whose would be, but it would be like whose. What I would say is, I would say of which is kind of weird as well. Wondering, let me look up a genitive form of how I could say that. I would say, because I could say, what does nomen mean? Right. The name of which is belly Cataline, which we're going to get into in a hot second. I kind of like that. Let's go ahead and do that. Of which you could also do whose name. I guess it's a little weird. I don't know. It doesn't matter. You are the master of your own universe. They both work literally, so I wouldn't dock you for it either way. Of which the name, I would have put est up here to not try and confuse you guys, but still est is there coming after that little quotation deal. Of which the name is, comma, what does belly refer to? War. And then, well, it's a capital C. What do you think it's referring to? Yep, Catalan. The War of Catalan. Or the Battle of Catalan. Either one. Let's just say the battle, since probably the war is a little... Salustio. What do we say is? Is the same as so don't get confused by that. By. And I'm sorry, I didn't capitalize it, but it's also a name. By. Sallustius. Qui narrabat quomodo Catalina num quam consul fuit. Take it to the comma there. By Sallustius. How would I translate narrabat? Was telling, right? Third person, singular, because of who being the antecedent of our verb. Who's doing the verb? Who was. In this case, what does the narrator do? Tells, but in this case, we want to make it imperfect telling, right? Imperfect versus perfect. I had some confusion in last class. Again, to reiterate, imperfect. Imperfect, makes it not. That prefix makes it not perfect, aka it's ongoing. Was telling is continually telling. It was in the past, but it's continually being told. Think about it like when I was telling my example. I was eating my breakfast when I got a phone call, and I had to stop eating my breakfast, but I was still eating it at that time. So it's still on the side. I'm called, take my call, finish the call, hung up the phone, hung up. That's past action complete. It's done. I wasn't hanging up the phone for the rest of my life. No, I hung up the phone. go back to finishing my eating, where I was eating turns into ate. And then it's the past action completed. I'm done. Who was telling Quomodo Catalina num quam consul fuit? So, Quomodo, what did I say Quomodo means? How. How who? How Cataline? How Cataline, aka Catalina. So if it's perfect, it would be has been, even though had been would sound better. Has, oops, my bad, num quam, adverb. What did I say? Never. So has never. Let's put that never in between has and been, but not the has been that is a has been. Has never been a what? Consul. Et quomodo ab republica missus erat. So and quomodo, how? Let's go to missus erat. Where does it come from? What verb? Got an email. Missus erat. If I'm doing this, I'm saying that this looks a lot like this form, but we said that this is the perfect passive. If it's instead of est, it's erat. If it's not perfect passive, it's what? But if it's passive, we don't have an imperfect passive. What do we have? What's the more perfect passive form? The pluperfect. So that means that this would be the pluperfect passive form of, if you look it up in the book and you find it, it's mito mitere. It means to send. This is where you get admittance. This is also where you get missus, the fourth principal part. This is where you get a mission. A mission is sending you to do something. It's also where you get admission, submission, transmission. I'll stop. So if that means to send, and how, we know that Catalina, he, how would I make sent pluperfect passive, you guys? How? He had, we need something in order to carry the passive-like quality to it. What verb do we embed in there to make it passive? How he had been. The verb to be is what really makes it passive. Ab re publica. Ab re publica, ab by, re publica, res, that refers to matters, things, and then publica referring to the public. This really just refers to like by public matters, or by the people essentially, or by the public. So, and how he had been sent by, let's just say by public matters. You could just say the public as well, and that's fine. Well, I was like, come on, this is kind of a hard for a sight translation. So, hey, for those that came in, I just gave you a little hint, winkety wink, for even the one that you're not even supposed to have prepared. You're supposed to have sight translated. You're just going to have to sight translate it from your head because you'll probably memorize this. Okay. That's a good big translation, though, right there. Thanks for your help. Pretty smart there, Eden. I got you.